Hello, my name is Julia Pomeranke, and today I'm going to be talking about the book Girl in Translation by Jean Kwok. This book is young adult fiction, and it's also infused with some Chinese culture. Now, the author, Jean Kwok, is known for writing Chinese literature, but in this novel, she takes her main characters, Kim and her mother, out of Hong Kong, China, and migrates them to New York City around the 1950s. So Kim is the main character, and she's also the narrator of this book. She's around 12 years old when she comes to America, and she doesn't know much English. Actually, pretty much just yes and no is all of her English. But the thing about Kim is she is a very intelligent young girl. In school in Hong Kong, she excelled tremendously. So school in America is a little rough because she doesn't know English, but once she gets the hang of that, she excels tremendously. Because of her brains, Kim is able to move up the social ladder through education. So she gets into better and better schools. Because of that, she meets wealthier and wealthier people. So she goes to school with millionaires and heiresses, but then after school she goes home to the slums of Brooklyn and works in a sweatshop with her mom. So these two spheres of influence for Kim create a very dramatic and dynamic book. It's really never boring. So to help you illustrate how Kim tries to balance these two spheres of her life, I'll read you a little excerpt. Kim says, I learned that Annette used Carol All Natural Wheat Shampoo to wash her hair, and when I told her I used soap, she let me know that that was really gross. The fact that we drank hot boiled water at home was weird. She asked me what I did after school, and when I answered that I was usually working at the factory, she went home and asked her father about it. The next day, she told me that that was a silly thing to say, since kids in America do not work in factories. Annette's friendship was the best thing that had ever happened to me while I was in America. But that day, I began to understand that there were parts of my life that should remain hidden. So Kim realizes this around 13, so she's only been in America for a year. So you can tell that the rest of her life, she remains, her private life, pretty hidden. So this novel is really interesting for me because it does show aspects of Chinese culture. Like, you realize that they have sayings like, you have a big bladder, which means you're really brave, or that kid's got the white disease, which means he's really slow. So that's a bit interesting. I mean, I enjoy something like that. But I also enjoy the fact that this novel is very complex in the fact that it shows poverty in different ways that I never really thought about. It's very raw when it comes to describing poverty. So I would rate this book a 4.5 out of 5 because the characters are very descriptive and there's never really a dull moment in this book. And it also taught me a lot of things about poverty and the socioeconomic struggles that some people had and still have. So this is a bit of a girl book because it is has some romance in it and is narrated by a young teenage girl, but it's also quite interesting because of the socioeconomic struggles. I would imagine anyone would enjoy this book, but I definitely loved it. Thank you for listening.